Hey everyone, Pete here from Knife Up, and of course I know you know what this video is all about, right? It's in the title of the video. It's a review of the SOG Aegis AT. Now, I want to get into some of those features. I'm excited to do that. I'm always excited to get into reviews, but the thing about this one that makes it kind of unique is that as of the making of this video, it's not even available online anywhere. You go, whatever, Amazon or Blade HQ, and it says coming soon. So right at this moment that you're watching, I'm sure you can buy it, and that's kind of the point. But here's the thing, this is even bigger news, I think, is that the company itself, you think you know SOG, right? Well, I've got some news that might just shatter your world. Well, bit of an overstatement, but stick around, I'll tell you what it is. All right, so what's the big deal with SOG? Well, SOG has been known to be kind of a pretty good knife company. All right, you guys probably own some knives from SOG, I do. But here's the thing, they've never kind of been in the top tier of anything. They've kind of been, you know, you can buy them at Walmart, you know, sort of discount stores. It just doesn't put them in a really good, high quality kind of light. And so what they've been doing recently is they've got new management, they've taken a new direction completely, and they've rebranded themselves to be a company that offers knives that are, quite honestly, second to none. They're on par with anybody that you've heard of, you know and love, right? The big companies, whether it's, you know, Benchmade or Spyderco or even Zero Tolerance, they're kind of in that category. Their standard offerings now are D2 steel. There's nothing else. They've got a couple of knives that are coming out sort of leading the way, and you can read more about those on our website review as well as in the description below. And it's just another company, almost another company altogether. So we applaud them in their direction, their change of direction, and we are wishing them the best in the future. We'll keep a close eye on what happens. All right, let's get into the knife review. Okay, so here is the packaging for the Aegis AT, and it's kind of nice. It looks like a something, you know, a product from Apple or something like that. It's got that white box. It's not quite as silky and luxurious feeling as the Apple product, but it also doesn't cost, you know, $2,000 or something like that. So it's a little bit flimsier, but overall, a really nice package. And then this slides out here, and there's the knife. It's kind of got a it's in a sort of plastic cradle or shell or whatever you want to call it, and then you got to kind of snap it out, and then underneath here you've got a product. Let me pop that out. It's a product info sheet, and you know, on the back it's got just some basic information. But anyway. So it's quite a nice packaging for the price of this knife, for sure. So one of the things that just before we jump into my thoughts and ideas about this knife, just let's touch on some of the specifications. And right off the bat, we notice that the knife itself is sort of a medium weight. Overall, it's 5.15 ounces. And part of the reason for that it's not lighter is because it actually is built very in a sturdy way with the liner, the metal liner in the handle. So we do appreciate that. The weight makes almost no difference to me personally. The length, when it's closed like this, is 5.01 inches. And then when it's open, it's 8.14 inches. And the blade itself right here is 3.13 inches. And of course, as I mentioned, it's made of D2 cryogenically treated steel. And it's got a black titanium nitride coating, which we kind of like. I know that it is, I know from experience actually, it is a little less intrusive and a little more subtle if you have both the clip, the carry clip, as well as the blade itself be black coated with titanium nitride, just because it's less flashy in the sunlight if you're in public or where you maybe aren't sure people want to see you carrying a knife. You might have just at least a couple of percentage points a better luck in hiding the fact that you have a knife if it's coated with, but plus it just looks cool. That's my opinion, of course. The handle is made of GRN, glass reinforced nylon, and this happens to be a forest green color, and overall it's great. Now let's see if it stays in focus if I bring it close enough. You see there's texture in the handle. It doesn't, the texture is so subtle that I don't know how much it actually helps, but it's very appropriate for this knife. I can survive without really any texture, so anything that is there is fine, but it's not very aggressive at all. It does have jimping along the top, and it's both on the blade as well as the handle itself, so no shortage of jimping there. The handle itself does not have a choil. I personally don't care about that. You know, it works well for me. A choil is just one of these things that, you know, take it or leave it. Doesn't do much for me either way. We like the fact that it has an ATXR, AT being assisted technology, lock. And by the way, when this is open, it doesn't wobble side to side, it doesn't wobble top to bottom in any way. It's really, really tight. And one of the things that we found is that it's actually, right now, it's a little bit on the tight side. I'm having a hard time flicking it out with my thumb, harder than many, of course, non-assisted knives, and which kind of defeats the purpose, but I still think it's cool. And it's not a hardship either way. I mean, it's not like I'm opening and shutting this literally hundreds of times a day. It's only, you know, a couple of times on a busy day. So it's you know, we like the assisted opening. It's just a nice feature to have, and I don't really care how tough it is. The blade itself, the shape, it's a drop point blade. So one of the things we like is the flat grind. The straight edge kind of blade makes it really easy to find the angle of the blade when you're sharpening. You just kind of put it against, you know, if you're using an automatic sharpener, you just kind of lay the blade against the edge of the sharpener and bring it through, or if you're using a stone, it just makes it easier instead of worrying about various different grinds and angles that can kind of throw you off from, you know, when you're sharpening. So anyway, the knife itself is made in Taiwan. I'm not sure that makes a big difference. I'm guessing by, you know, the experience I've had with this knife that doesn't really make any difference where it's made. Who really cares? The quality seems to be there. The only problem that we really had is with the clip. It's a little bit of a weird thing. I put this in my pocket just for the video just a couple of minutes ago, and here, check out this clip. Okay, so we generally like the look, the overall look of this clip. You can see it's not like the old Aegises where there's like a big, huge loop. The clip comes way out. This clip is actually, you know, more discreet. It's thinner. It's not as deep carry, but that's okay. I'm not so thrilled about the fact that this doesn't have the older Aegis branding. I actually like that, but that's a personal thing. You might like this better. Here's the problem, though, with the clip. When you put it in your pants like this, watch what happens. When you go down, it stops right there because there's two screws. The screws that hold the clip in stop it from kind of going down any further. So you really got to hold on to the edge of your pocket and you know what? I'm actually unsuccessful in doing that. So I mean, it's fine. It can sit right there. There's no problem. But technically, I can't even get this particular pair of pants to go up to where it should be at the top of the clip. Yes, that was my clip about a clip. If you get it, huh? Video clip? Yeah, whatever. So that's the only thing about this. As much as we like the fact that right here, you can see it doesn't stick way out. The clip doesn't stick way out like some of the former Aegis clips did. It's also not as deep carry, or it doesn't go as deep in your pocket. But none of that really is important. That all those issues pale in comparison to the issue of these two little. If you can see them in there.
there's two little screw heads that stick out, and boy, I'll tell you, that just made it impossible for me to put them over the edge of my jeans. They're just regular jeans. They're not like thick or anything like that, but you know, maybe if you have really skinny jeans, or I don't know, another type of clothing that you're wearing, it'll be easier to put this on. But for me, I can't even get it on. It doesn't go in all the way. It still holds. It's still fine. It's still functional. It just doesn't go in like you would expect to go all the way to the top of the clip. So those are some of the specifications, and well, I actually got into some of my thoughts and ideas as well. So, oh well, who cares? Okay, so some of my initial thoughts, kind of my overview. In a nutshell, it's SOG made this to be a rapid assist opening with ambidextrous abilities here. So you can, you know, there's the lock control on both sides, and we like the fact that it's got this safety feature here on the top. So when you shut the knife and you deploy the lock, and it's like a gun. So when the red, the little red, I don't know if you can kind of see it there, the red dot shows that means that the lock is not deployed. If I do that, I can't open it at all. And by the way, when it's closed and it's locked, you can't move the blade even a little bit. There's no play at all. And in fact, even when you release the lock, it's not the easiest thing in the world to open. And in fact, my kids could not open it at all. They were kind of wanting to play with it just before the review, and I've got like an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, and none of them could open it until I showed them that you got to put quite a bit of force into it. And then of course they wanted to play with it all day, and I had to take it from them forcefully. We like the fact that it's got the ergonomic handle, and we like the certainly the black blade, as I mentioned before, and the safety system on the back, excellent. And we really appreciate the fact that it's got the it's specifically designed and engineered for outdoors, camping, hiking, fishing, you know, hunting, whatever you want to do. It even works, like it's even got a bit of a belly on the blade, which is good for skinning a deer or whatever if you have to. I mean, it's not specifically a hunting knife, but boy, it'll do the trick in a pinch without you know, any issues at all. So you know, it's got a lot of good features to it. Overall, we like it definitely, and the fact that it used to be, the old Aegises used to be, you know, I don't know what they were, 30, 40, 50 bucks with an inferior steel. This with the D2 is still only like 80 to 90 something dollars, and right now as an introductory price, I think it's about 85 bucks as it comes onto the market. So it is a good deal to grab it now, especially with the D2 steel. I don't think there's another, well, there isn't another option for this particular knife. So anyway, as much as we like things about this knife, there are a couple of things that we mentioned earlier with the clip that we're not thrilled with, and the fact that it's kind of tough. Now, I don't mind the fact that it's tough to open and close for the sake of my kids, but you know, I'm not a kid, and while I can handle it, I'm just curious as to why it's you know, quite that tough. It could be just because I don't use it every day. I've only had it for a couple days. I don't know what it'll be like after a year or two of, you know, flicking it open and shut, right? So I have to be fair and say that this is a brand new knife. Interesting thing though, when you're shutting this, at this point, right about here, and then getting worse as you go closer to the shut position, it's really, you can feel and hear some real sort of friction. Like, I don't know if you can hear this. I'll bring it up to my microphone here. It's whether you can hear it or not, it's a real sort of like swishing sound, like it really is rubbing against something. And it's less obvious out here, although it is still out here as well. So I'm guessing that's just the way it's engineered, and it's not like a big problem, but since we're here reviewing it, right now, I may as well, get into all the details of it. So, and then when I'm flicking it out, it's actually fairly hard, and I'm starting to feel the divot holes or indentation. Starting to feel the thumb stud divots in my thumb, because it really takes its toll if you're playing with it for a long time, flicking it open and shut. Again, not a big deal. It's not like I'm opening this, as I mentioned, 50 times or 100 times a day. It's only a couple of times, so it makes really no difference how hard it is. It's just another little thing to keep in mind when you're looking to buy this. So, I don't really need this lanyard hole here on the back, although, if this clip ticks you off because you can't slide it on all the way, some of you might want to get into using the lanyard hole. I know a lot of people, including myself, don't really do much with lanyards and carrying knives anymore. We just kind of use the clip. It's more convenient overall. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today as I do my best to do justice to reviewing a very high quality knife, the Aegis AT from SOG, as I hang out here in my shed. And guys, if you have found any sort of value in a video like this, please do give me a like and a subscribe. Just a couple of buttons down below. It doesn't hurt you in any way to do that. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it helps us out. It's almost as good as money. So if you want to be nice to me, hey, we really appreciate that. And please do leave your feedback. Any comments, ideas, suggestions, maybe corrections. Maybe I've said something wrong. I've been known to make mistakes before. All right, so any comments you have would be wonderful. And down below in the description, I've got lots of information, how you can find out more information on the SOG Aegis AT and where you can buy it if you're interested. So we do look forward to making the next video, which will be fairly soon, but we don't go crazy. You're not going to get notifications from us every couple of days or even every week on Knife Up for new videos. So anyway, I hope that's a good thing. The last thing I'll just say is if you go to our website, knifeup.com, you'll find we're almost #1, pretty close to #1 on every Google search for your particular state's knife laws. So we try to keep that updated as best we can, but it's constantly changing, so it's sometimes tough to do. So if you can give me feedback there, some of you do, and say, hey, I think this is changed, and we really appreciate that because we get right on that as quickly as we can. And there's lots of other helpful information on activities that you do all the time. Hunting, fishing, outdoors, boating, camping, the whole schmozzle. That's what I'm into, and I hope you guys are too. All right? Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to the very next video that's coming up. Who knows when? I'll try to make it soon-ish. All right, guys? And until that time, stay sharp.